Friday. My goodness, are we flying through May or what? Let's get right to your recap, shall we? So this was a crazy story this week. A passenger with no flying experience landed the plane after the pilot had a medical emergency. The plane took off from the Bahamas, and then over the Florida coastline, the pilot became incapacitated and the guy had to take over. An air traffic controller helped him land that plane by looking at a picture of the cockpit. Talk about stepping it up at the right time, huh? Gosh, I don't even know what all the controls do in my car, let alone staring at a cockpit of a plane, which, by the way, I have never even set foot in. This guy has to have a new hobby, don't you think? So what'd you get your mom for Mother's Day? Probably not this. A Catholic school is apologizing after selling roses for Mother's Day that were actually red thongs. The principal said it was an embarrassing mistake in an email sent out to parents. Awkward. How sweet. My kid got me a gift for Mother's Day. Boom, it's a thong. But you know what? It actually seems very familiar. You know that whole saying about like, mom always says to have clean underwear in case you're in an accident? I guess kids finally listened, huh? Now, parents don't always approve of tattoos, and if it was this one, I certainly wouldn't either. A man got a tattoo of his wife snoring. So this is a copy of a photo that he secretly took of her sleeping on a plane with her mouth just hanging wide open. Now, as you can imagine, she does not think that this is a gesture of his love, saying that she is horrified and it is ugly. So apparently, this couple has been pranking each other for 24 years, so it's a thing. And if you know me, you know I love a good prank. But I tell you what, I would never get a tattoo. This feels like this sea lion loves playing pranks. So we told you a few weeks ago about a sea lion that was rescued from a freeway in California. Well, now this guy had to be rescued from a storm drain. They're calling him Freeway now, by the way. Rescuers say the storm drain would have led him to that same spot where he was rescued before. He's now undergoing a behavioral analysis with vets and marine experts to figure out why he keeps wandering inland. I got this one. How about he wants to go to the zoo? He doesn't want to be out in the wild trying to find his dinner by himself. Or maybe there's something really special at this spot on the freeway. Could we, check it out? Let's keep going with these odd animal stories. A dog broke into a Tennessee couple's house and just snuggled right up in bed. Now, this couple has 3 dogs, so they assumed it was one of those dogs, but when they rolled over, they realized they didn't know this one. So the wife took a couple selfies, posted them on social media. Sure enough, the owners recognized her. She had slipped out of her collar while they were out on a walk. What's still a mystery here? How the dog got into the house. They don't know how it happened. Guess you gotta check those doors. Unless, of course, you're wanting those snuggles. We gotta give a shout out this week to some awesome athletes participating in the National Senior Games. This is the world's largest sporting event for men and women aged 50 and up. It's in Fort Lauderdale. It runs through May 23rd. Nearly 12,000 senior athletes will compete in sports like running, tennis, and swimming. They're all inspiring in their own ways, whether they're veterans, cancer survivors, or making a comeback from surgeries. Now, if that doesn't inspire you heading into the weekend, I do not know what will. Give these athletes a shout out in the comments, will ya? And don't forget to like and subscribe.